Have you ever looked at your bank account 3 days after payday and felt that sudden, familiar drop in your stomach? You didn't do anything reckless. You didn't buy a new car, you didn't book a luxury vacation. You just paid your rent or mortgage, bought some groceries, paid the utility bills, and maybe treated yourself to one decent meal out to decompress from a long week. Yet somehow, a huge chunk of your money is just gone. And for the rest of the month, you carry around this quiet, low level of anxiety. It's exhausting, isn't it? That feeling that no matter how hard you work, you are constantly just managing the stress of the next bill. You feel like you're doing something wrong, like there's some secret financial rule book everyone else got that you missed out on. But I want to stop you right there. You aren't doing anything wrong. You were just exhausted by a financial system that is designed to be overly complicated. We have been conditioned to believe that financial stability requires relentless, punishing discipline. We're told to be good with money, we need to track every single penny. We're told to download 3 different budgeting apps, categorize every single transaction, color code complex spreadsheets, and feel an immense, crushing guilt every time we buy a cup of coffee. We make money incredibly complicated, and because it's complicated, we avoid it. When people hear the word minimalism, they usually think of deprivation. They picture a completely empty white room, a mattress on the floor, and someone forcing themselves to wear the exact same gray shirt every single day. But true minimalist financial mind has absolutely nothing to do with deprivation. It's not about owning nothing. It's about making space for what actually matters by ruthlessly eliminating the noise. What if the reason you feel financially stuck isn't because you lack discipline, but because your financial life is just too cluttered? Let's talk about how we strip away that noise. The minimalist approach to money relies on understanding human psychology, starting with the concept of decision fatigue. Every single day, you make hundreds of micro decisions about money. Should I buy this brand of cereal or the cheaper one? Should I drive or take the train? Should I get the upgraded software? Every time you make one of these choices, you drain a little bit of your mental energy. By the end of the week, your willpower is entirely depleted, which is exactly when you make those impulsive, emotionally driven purchases that you regret later. The first minimalist money rule is to eliminate decision fatigue by paying your future self first, automatically. When most of us try to save or invest, we do it backwards. We earn our money, we pay our bills, we buy our groceries, and then we look at whatever's left over at the end of the month and hope, fingers crossed, that there's enough left over to save. But human nature dictates that if money is sitting in your checking account, it will be spent. Life will always find a reason to spend it. A car repair, a birthday dinner, a sudden sale. The minimalist flips this entirely. You don't budget your spending, you budget your saving. The moment your paycheck hits your account, a predetermined amount is automatically transferred to your savings and your investments. You don't touch it, you don't look at it, and most importantly, you do not have to make a decision about it. It just happens in the background. Compound interest, the magical force of your money making its own money while you sleep, starts working for you without you lifting a finger. The second rule is changing how you filter your spending. The non-minimalist mind looks at an item and asks, "Can I afford this?" If the money's in the account, the answer is yes, so we buy it. But the minimalist financial mind asks a different, much deeper question. Does this purchase earn its space in my life? It's a subtle but powerful shift. You stop looking at your bank balance for permission and start looking at your internal values. If you deeply love traveling, you might spend aggressively on flights and experiences. But to balance that out, you ruthlessly cut the subscriptions you never watch, the expensive clothes you don't care about, and the car upgrade you don't really need. You aren't budgeting, you are simply aligning your money with your actual joy. This leads to a crucial turning point. This is the moment your entire relationship with money changes. You have to realize that money isn't just paper and it isn't just numbers on a banking app. Money is stored energy. It is the physical representation of the time and the life energy you traded away at work. When you buy something you don't truly care about just to keep up appearances, or because you were bored scrolling online late at night, you are literally throwing away pieces of your past. You are giving away the hours of your life you spent earning that cash. But when you keep your finances simple, when you build an emergency reserve or invest in a straightforward, low-cost index fund, you are doing something beautiful. You are buying your future freedom.
You are buying the ability to say no to a toxic boss. You are buying the ability to take a Tuesday off when you are mentally burnt out. You are buying the peace of mind that if your car breaks down, it's just a frustrating Tuesday, not a life-altering financial crisis. So how do we actually apply this starting today? You don't need a massive overhaul. You just need a minimalist structure. Create a system so simple it runs itself. Think of it as the two-account strategy. Account number 1 is your growth account. This is where your automated investments and savings live. The money goes in automatically on payday, and you forget it exists. Account number 2 is your life account. This is your regular checking account. Once your automated savings have been pulled out and your fixed bills like rent and utilities are paid, the rest of the money in that account is yours. All of it, guilt-free. If the money is in that account, you can spend it on dinner, on a hobby, on whatever brings you joy. No categorizing, no logging receipts. If the account starts running low toward the end of the month, you will naturally and instinctively slow down your spending. You are letting the system do the heavy lifting, saving your mental energy for your actual life, your family, and your passions. Whenever you feel the urge to make a significant, unplanned purchase, implement a 48-hour pause. Just put the item in the cart and walk away for 2 days. If you still deeply want it after the emotion has faded, buy it without guilt. But you will be shocked at how many things you forget about the moment you close the browser tab. Financial freedom isn't always about having millions of dollars. Honestly, for most of us, it's much quieter than that. Financial freedom is simply the absence of financial anxiety. It's the ability to sleep peacefully at night. It's walking into a grocery store and not having to mentally calculate the cost of everything in your cart to make sure your card won't decline. You don't need 100 complex rules to get there. You don't need to be a math genius or a Wall Street expert. You just need a few simple, undeniable truths that you stick to. Pay yourself first, automatically, spend unapologetically on what you love, and cut mercilessly on what you don't. Protect your time and your mental energy. And above all, give yourself some grace. You are undoing years of complicated financial habits. It takes time. Progress is always, always better than perfection. Take a deep breath. You've got this.